This country is not a democracy. And I was tickled to death today when I heard Sabo from UNCA make that comment on the Matt Matan show. A lot of things about Matt Matan I don't like, but that was a good comment. Because Sabo said we are a republic, not a democracy. And see, there are some things, yes, that the people should decide. But what our county commissioners do, and they do this, and they do it in the city council, Joe, they only decide the things that they shouldn't decide, and then the real hard decisions, they give it to the people. They don't make the hard decisions. They don't put the facts out there, even before the people decide. And in a democracy, if 51 out of 100 vote for it, then it happens, right? And that makes you real happy if you're one of those 51. But if you're one of those 49, it sucks. Plain and simple. And we have got to look at our constitutional rights. Now, I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to wrap it up. If you look at what I proposed in 2000, the first time I ever ran for county commissioner, I proposed open government. I proposed televising public comment. I proposed that you get TV involved in filming all of your planning and zoning board meetings, your animal control board meetings, your soil and erosion control board meetings. We've got 3 channels in Buncombe County, and one of the channels gets a whole lot more money than the other channel. The county channel gets, what, $500,000, and URTV gets like $200,000. Folks, there's enough airspace up there for us to be able to turn that TV on and see your government in action, but they don't want to see you. They don't want you to see what you're doing. You need to see them throw people out of meetings when they say you can't come in. You need to see what they do and how they walk in. They've already got the decisions made. And how many of you in here have started going to county commissioner meetings? If you go to county commissioner meetings consistently, most of you get sick and tired and don't go anymore. If you go consistently, after about 4 months, you don't even have to go to tell what happened. And yet they'll say, well, we don't decide anything behind closed doors. That was my #1 proposal in 2000 when I ran. So if I changed since 2000, you bet your sweet bippy I've changed since 2000. I've got meaner, more determined, and able to fight a little bit better. And the next thing that I wanted to do was also on the Civic Center. The Civic Center's no problem, Joe. We ought to be marketing that Civic Center as a place for an organization that needs a place to seat about 3,000 people in the Thomas Wolfe Auditorium and then have breakout sections next door. You can't convince me that there's not enough organizations in this whole wide United States of America that would love to come to beautiful, wonderful Western North Carolina for their convention and meet over to Thomas Wolfe and then go over next door and have their little breakout sessions. And until this city gets off its butt and does that, I don't want to take any of my tax dollars from the county to modernizing it. It's set up there, not even painted, folks, for how long? Now, I've quit preaching and gone to meddling. But what I'm saying is that's going to help the folks in the city too, isn't it? Because that's making that a profitable unit. Also, we could coordinate transportation, and guess what we could do for all the motel and hotel owners? We could bus the people downtown for the convention, bus them out that night back to their hotel, and take those buses that we've got and put them to use rather than running up and down the road with 3 people in them. That takes creative thinking outside the box. And guess what? If you elect the same kind of people that's in there, guess what you're going to have? The same thing that you got. So you want something different, you better put somebody else in there different. Let's see. I could go on forever and ever and ever. Nature Center. They had the Nature Center down there in a little old piece of property. It should have been moved to the landfill, and now they're going to try to do an art center to the landfill. They at least did part of my idea there. Immigration, that's a no-brainer. Just enforce the laws you got on the books. And I'm so sick and tired. You know, they say, well, that's a federal problem. Well, guess what? If I come to your house and knock your door down, steal everything you got, are you going to say it's the government's problem? I'm going to let the government come protect me? No, you're going to protect yourself. So it's a Buncombe County problem. When you go to the health department and you got 5 different languages in the health department, last time I checked, to become legal, you got to speak English, haven't you, Paul? No, see, but now, if we're going to be nice to everybody, we got to we need Irish now added to the health department. So you see where it can go. This thing can go on forever and ever and ever. So the solutions are there. Why do we not have solutions? Because nobody implements them. And now let's bring up a very serious subject. CTS plant. Yours truly put up a sign on Concord Road last night. That's why I wasn't able to get my signs out to the early voting places. Thank you, Mike, for taking them out to Fairview today. I put a sign up on Concord Road, International Orange, black letters. And it says, I will fight for a full cleanup of the CTS toxic waste site. And I heard something today that concerns me very much from one of our county officials. EPA is thinking about pulling out and saying we don't need a hazardous response team out there. And they just discovered a well that has 7 families on it, that has 0.7 on it, and 0.5 is where it's supposed to be. So it's over the legal limit. And there's 7 families drinking that water. Now, when our county can run water lines for condominiums to be built at the CTS site, they can run water lines for the citizens of this county. And when the Planning and Zoning Administrator puts his initials on a piece of paper that says all zoning rules are exempt, and they chop off 40-some acres, and you can find the paperwork and do the trail on that because I did it back in 1999, Joe. You can find the people involved in that. You can get the responsible party. But it's going to take guts. And you're going to be fighting some very powerful people. Because this is a war, folks. This is a battle. I heard somebody today say this. We need to take our money that we spend on fighting drugs, that $80 billion, and we need to legalize dope and take that $80 million and educate the black folks to keep them from failing out of school. And, folks, they believe they're right. Legalizing cocaine was what's being proposed. And in Buncombe County, and those of you that are going to be watching this thing, you're going to see a move made to do the same thing in the county that happened in the city. There is a coalition building among some real people that want to be called progressive. That's what they want to be called. But there's a coalition forming underneath that nobody's aware of to put 3 of them on the county commission board, just like they did in Asheville. And Joe Dunn, you know what that coalition was like to work with. Carl Mumpere knows what that coalition was like to work with. Well, I tell you what, folks, I'm going to say something. If that coalition were to happen, who do you want up there fighting for you? That's the decision you have to make come May when you get that little piece of yellow paper and you check. Do you want me up there fighting for you? Am I the type of person that will take the battle directly to the people? Put the information out there. Whether I love you or like you or hate you or you're the same party I am is totally immaterial. But I love a good fight. And that's a decision you have to make. Now, the serious part. We need help. We need people standing at the polls election day on May the 6th and in November, handing out the cards of the people that represent what you believe. Folks, this is your fight. I can do what I've always done, and I will continue to do what I've always done. And ever since 96, I have spent $724 having a TV show, taking my own money, paying for that TV show, because, folks, I believe if the people have the information, they'll make the right decision. But the decision you have to make now is are you going to fight for this election process? Because we're down to the wire. It's right there.